Hey guys, so today I'm going to play a bit of devil advocate. And before you go into the comments and bitch about me, oh, but you already used AI, so of course you're all for AI. Please listen and watch the full video, and then you can bitch about it in the comments all you want. Okay? Cool. Now, let's start with the first invention of modern human. I say modern human because I don't mean the first invention as the wheel or fire. And I made some notes, so I'm going to glance over them. So the very first invention, obviously, was the book in modern society, I mean. The first invention that everyone loved was the book. And how was the book written? Well, by scribes, of course. For centuries, scribes have been the gatekeepers of knowledge because they were the only ones that knew how to read and write. Well, the only well, the only ones that knew how to read and write among the commoners or among the ones that weren't nobles or royalty. So what do you think happened in Paris in the year 1476 when the printing press was invented? All hell broke loose, that's what happened. Scribes everywhere were up and rising and revolting, rioting, because to their credit and to their defense, their whole livelihood depended on them writing, on them being scribes and transcribing books by hand. So when an invention like the printing press came out, it literally threatened their livelihood. So they got up in arms, and that was pretty bad. In Paris, 1476, a printing press was even attacked by those that saw it as a threat to their world. Their anger, their fear was absolutely real, a natural, a natural response to the threat of losing their bread and butter. But guess what happened after that? I suppose you don't actually need to guess because you're alive here and can know what happened. No, the world didn't stop. Those scribes didn't go hungry or died. Well, except for a few that were stubborn and didn't want to adapt or evolve or just move on with the times. Those, well, as Darwin says, it was natural selection. The scribes adapted and evolved, as I said earlier. They became proofreaders, editors, typesetters, and illuminators for the very presses they once feared. Yeah, things that are even doing now, like editors and typesetters. I don't know if typesetters are a thing anymore, but I'm pretty sure that proofreaders and editors are still a thing. Because when I did my game, I was looking for proofreaders and editors to read my story and edit my story. So yeah, no one lost their lives, no one lost their livelihood, But you know why? Because governments and other people in the industry at that time, I mean, it's fair to call it an industry, right? Came and offered the people an alternative. So they don't go and die from hunger. Now, let's move. Now, let's move to the 19th century, where the Pony Express riders, or as many other people know it, the riding messengers. You know, those guys that rode across the country to deliver messages. Yeah, those guys. Since 1860 to 1861, they were unmatched in the information war. But then the telegraph and the telegraph operators rose up and attacked the Fire Nation. Wait, nah. And I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure you can guess what happened. The riding messengers were all up in arms, furious about losing their livelihood. But again, they adapted and moved on. Later on, the same telegraph operators faced the same difficulty that the riding messengers faced years before, when the telephone was first introduced and slowly trickled into society. Some people even called it a toy that will never catch on and will never be anything but a toy. A nice trend and pattern that we'll see a lot during the history. Now let's move further ahead when the radio when the radio was dominating everywhere and the word of the words panicked an entire country that aliens are invading and we are faced with a mass extinction from aliens. If you get that joke, then you're a good dude, but you might be as old as me, or maybe older. On when the first television started to trickle in and spread amongst the society, a lot of people in the scene in the 1940s and 50s predicted the radio demise. And you can be sure that a lot of radio hosts and radio owners were fuming about television. They call it a fad, that radio is going to reign supreme over everything, and TV is just going to be a lot of bullshit. And let's take a quick detour because I forgot to mention something. During the Scribes incident in 1470s, Filippo de Strata wrote several polemics against printing, just like a lot of people are writing papers and studies and all these things, including tweets that are against AI. he famously lamented that the printing press would lead to the unemployment of scribes and spread of useless knowledge, which where he was half right. And by half right, I mean it didn't lead to the unemployment of scribes, but it led to some spread of useless information. Okay, let's get back to... So, back to the radio. The same thing happened with the video and TV. Everyone did the same thing that they do every single time something new comes up, and kind of makes their job obsolete. But let's face it, even to this day we still have radio, so we know that video didn't kill the radio star, as the song goes. Again, if you know this reference, you might be even older than me, dude. So yeah. And now we arrive at today, where we are faced with AI taking everyone's job, and hearing about, oh, AI is taking my job. And I heard that before, where, oh, the immigrants are taking our jobs. How would you know that, Moon? Well, in case you aren't aware, I'm Romanian. I was there in England, in USA, where I heard this so many freaking times. And every single time I asked a person this question, okay, so you want to apply for the same job I am applying? Ew, no! Why would I want to work something as dirty as that? And keep in mind, my job was a waiter, but apparently that's humiliating for some people. The same people are the ones that, oh, immigrants are going to take our jobs. The jobs you don't want? I'm not saying there aren't people that would take those jobs, because I worked with British people in the same restaurant and on the same cruise ship. I worked with American people, but almost always the people that scream, "Ooh, X are coming to take our jobs," they're not even going to apply for that job. Same people as now with AI. The same people that are saying AI is going to take our jobs doesn't even go to apply for a typesetter, for a copywriter, for an editor, for an artist, and any job that has been taken or is taken over by AI. So this is a bit of playing the devil advocate, as I said earlier at the start of the video. So why are people always angry when the new thing comes and makes the old thing obsolete? Well, as we saw across history, it's always because the new technology, the new thing, the new innovation threatens their livelihood. And when something threatens your livelihood, when you can no longer support yourself, support your family, pay rent, pay bills, get money, get food, get water, get shelter, then people are going to get pissed and they're going to want to destroy that innovation. But again, as we saw across history, when people are given an alternative, when governments or companies in the industry give those people that are fired an alternative place to work or an alternative ways to earn money, then suddenly they don't give a fuck anymore. They don't give a shit anymore. Oh, is this AI going to replace me? Okay, then I guess I have suddenly 9 whole hours of free time that I can spend with my family, I can spend with my friends, I can spend doing what I love doing instead of hating my job for 9 hours straight. Wait, you guys have 8 hours, right? Not 9 hours. Anyway, suddenly when people are no longer forced to think, okay, how do I pay rent this month? How do I put food on the table? How do I get clothes for my kids? How do I pay tuition on school? Suddenly they don't care anymore about AI. Why? Because they don't have to anymore. Their needs are met and they don't care anymore. Also, they're even more happier that they don't have to go to a job they hate and now they can do something they love. We are currently here at the invention of the printing press. And this is us as the scribes. Now we just have to move past the printing press and get ourselves a brand new income or a brand new way to get that income. Some are arguing that it might be time to implement universal income, but that would be kind of hard to do because, let's face it, we are what now? 7 billion or 8 billion people on this earth. Not to mention, that's the whole human race. But if we count only Europe, USA, and Asia, then I think we're close to 4 billion, 5 billion. I don't know, you do the math, man. And tell me in the comments if I'm right. So that's going to be pretty hard. Also, that will imply paying people that never worked a day in their life, not because they couldn't find a job or because of their health they couldn't find a job like myself. No, it's because they simply didn't want to work. So maybe make an adjustment to the universal income with digital ID that's been propping now. While we're at it, I'm just going to summarize. People are very afraid of digital ID because, oh, they're going to track us and everything we do. Really? Freaking really? You don't realize that right now, right in this moment, Google, Facebook, everyone, even the FBI agent that's watching me now, so I don't say some dumb shit, is watching you as we speak now, right? And even before the internet, you were being watched and everyone knew what you, and by everyone, I mean everyone that needed to know, knew even what you had for dinner last night or what you had for breakfast this morning. So, yeah, the fear of, oh, but they're going to know. They're already knowing. And if this video is going to be taken down, this is the reason why. Like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, may your gachapus be blessed.